Okay, this is likely to be a long video. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I really need to cover some stuff with you um, as a courtesy so that you know exactly where I'm coming from and exactly why I am making the decision I've made. Um, I'm going to rewind until the first time I went to that area when I found the first barley out of the head. And I'm going to go a little bit more into detail with that. You're going to have to forgive the way I look. The room I'm in, I just literally come down and threw my stuff down. I know I got to get this out there. I know I've got a moon to try to see tonight. And I respect and I know that a lot of you are watching me to decide to use me as a factor in what you're deciding. And so with all of that said, this is what you get. No apologies, this is just it, deal with it. Okay, so this may be a bit of a long video, and going back to what we were doing. I'm gonna do a screen share with you, and I wanna show you something here. Hang on. Go right here. I'm gonna back this guy up. Now, this is when I was at Raim the first time when I found the barley. And I want to show you, first of all, let me show you this photo right here. This photo is taken in the north. And I want you to notice this area right here. We didn't have rain this year until I had returned from my dad's funeral. And then we had yearly amounts of rain in a matter of weeks maximum. We had the yearly amount of rain in about maybe 8 to 10 weeks. And so what has happened, you can see this lighter area right here. Well, it's a little higher on this end, and the birds are screaming and the phone's going off and the world's going crazy. We're going to get through this. It's a little higher on this end and it's higher on this end. So as this water laid in this area, this barley has become, almost hasn't made it. It's become very weak, very yellow, very anemic. It almost drowned, literally, because it wasn't getting oxygen in the roots. So I'm going to leave this video up here and we're going to look at it and we're going to compare it to the condition that we see in Raim from, and that picture here, as you can see, was taken February 27th. We're gonna play the Raim video along with it. And I want you to compare the colors. Like, come on. There.
Hey guys, I'm not going to do another live for you because they just don't feed well. This is Raim Park, the rest area.
See these yellow
I was
colors?
at Raim Kibbutz on the back side of that. Look at all those poppies. Aren't they beautiful? And what was it on the 5th? We saw the pictures I posted 2 days later. Look at the poppies coming up everywhere. Anyway, so this is Raim Park. I'm just going to walk with you.
Okay. So now I'm going to try to find you. That's what's going on in Raim. There's two factors we've got going on in Raim, which is one of our best areas, is we had too much rain too fast, and the sheep have been in there. The lambs and kids have been on the ground for a month and a half, and those mothers have been eating to make milk. The general flock has been eating, and it has really affected what is in the park there. There's not nearly as much, let me stop sharing that. There's not nearly as much barley in there as there has been historically. So now let me see if I can find this other video for you. Let's see, it may be a photo. I'm winging it here, trying to remember. I've done so much, but I think it was a photo and maybe not a video. I think the live was pretty bad on that one. Okay, here we go. Let me get this on a screen share. Okay. So my challenge on this photo had been the nodes down here are too yellow. It looks too yellow. It looks too sickly. It looks too pale. It's because we had that rain. And let me see if I have another one here. No, sorry. Go this way. There's another one. Can you see how yellow and sickly the oats look? Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Go back. Make it a little bigger. Do you see? It's not the heads that are yellow. It's actually the grass that is yellow. So we learned last year we had an overabundance of oats, and we learned last year that oats love water. And there wasn't a lot of barley in the north because we had so many oats and they were so tall, they outgrew the barley. So this year in Ra'im, you're seeing the same thing, only we've had so much water that even the oats are sick. And the oats here are laying in a lower area than the barley here. I want to see if I can find another picture for you, and I'm going to pause, stop sharing the screen. I'm going to pause this. Okay, I'm going to do another screen share. I think here, right here. And this is another video that we're going to look at together. This is that same area where I just showed you the field with the barley that was yellow from being sick. This was 3 weeks ago. Okay, there's been a significant change in this area. I did take a video of that. I believe I did. There's been a significant change in this area, and some of these oats have recovered, but there's still not a lot of barley. The barley apparently isn't as vigorous as the oats are. Let's look at this video. And I want you to really pay attention to a couple of things. First of all, these tufts right here, as they have been called, these tufts are healthy barley. These are little areas of elevation in this field. And I'm going to play this now, and I may stop it, pause it, and point some stuff out to you. We'll see. We'll let it go.
I can honestly say I'm totally shocked. I did not expect to find anything other than
all of these
grass. I use that term grass.
They're raised.
For all of the grains, the wild grains.
See this depression, how yellow this is compared to this?
It's shocking that I'm finding anything with a grain head. I want to show you, this is not a hot zone. I'm well away from.
Okay, so that was the live one, and the lives just don't work here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one and stop sharing. Okay. Historically, we know that the wild oats are dropping their seeds close to it. When the barley is a beeb, the wild oats are dropping their seeds. As you know, I'm not looking for something that's a beeb anymore. I'm looking for something that's dough. Okay. And I saw in these last days, and I wasn't getting in a area where I could do a good inspection where it would have a likely candidate of barley. I saw in these last days that there's a lot of oats that were out of the boot when I was there the first time they're close to dropping their oats. The stalk is no longer yellow. They've been able to green back up. The oats are open, you know, they're born, they're kind of closed. They open up a little bit like an alligator jaw, and the seed gets striped black on the inside and it's kind of fuzzy. They're all at that stage. And that's a cue to me that the season's further along than maybe you would expect it to be. So I want to insert a statement here that says that what I'm looking for is not a big field of barley that's going to be ready now. What I'm looking for I'm trying to do this like I lived in Israel and I need to feed my family and I've got to get a first fruits offering to the temple. That's how I'm trying to look at the barley on the land. Okay, so it's from the perspective of got to get my first fruits offering because I have a barley field. The first fruits belong to God. Okay, it's got to go to Him. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. Now, if I have a field, it's not going to be 100% flat as a pancake. You don't want that because your field is going to stand in water in the years you have heavy rain. You truly want a little elevation, a little pitch, maybe some not much sways in it where water can stand. And from that field and that condition, it's never all going to be right in the same moment. There will be a day when the majority of it is ripe before it drops. There will be a day when, let's say, the lion's share of it has achieved, talk about dough stage. But within that field, there's going to be early sections that will have dropped when the rest of it is ready to harvest. So what we're looking for and what we need is a first fruits offering from a field. And yes, we want the first fruits for the temple. But even if we take a step back from that and we're just looking at our field as a farmer, there is going to be a portion of that that presents itself acceptable before the rest of it. So the field that I showed you that last clip video of, when I went back to that, there was hard dough barley. All of those little tufts were hard dough barley. And I knew what the land was saying to me. I knew what the land was saying to me. But I wasn't at peace with saying, well, we'll go harvest those little tufts together and we'll make it a first fruits offering. So last night, I asked Elohim for a very, 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 very specific thing. And I have it on a Facebook chat. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. Boy, my little green parrot is so noisy, isn't he? Get rid of this. Whoops, I didn't want to get rid of that. I need that. Hang on a second. Now let me see if I can find just this portion. Hang on, sorry, it's taking me a little bit longer than I thought it would. Well, I'm not seeing it on here and I'm not going to delay it any further to prove the point. And that is that I asked Elohim for something very specifically today, very specifically. When I went to bed last night, I told the Father, I said, I know what you're showing me. I know what you're showing me. I know that you're showing me that the early crop would have been severely damaged this year. I know that you're showing me that these lambs and these mama ewes have been out there eating your barley for a lot longer than we have realized. I know what you're showing me, but I told them, I said, I am not content to say that this will be the new year if I can't find an area that is large enough and that would have represented a sufficient space, the third to a fourth of an acre. And hang on, I'm going to shut this door. That bird's driving me crazy. I said, I am not comfortable telling the people that this would be the new year. I said, I'm asking, Father, I'm asking you for, if it be possible, I need to find this large enough area that's going to have at least an armful now of barley that's acceptable. Well, you guys know probably from the video yesterday that the roads were closed into some of the areas that I wanted to go see. And I really felt like Barrie was supposed to be one of the places I got into. I didn't get in there today. They had the military posted with one of those arms down. They had the military posted there. And so I pulled up and I said, hi, is it closed? You know, yeah, it's closed. And I said, oh, okay, where can I go see the flowers? And they looked at each other like, we got bombs falling, and she's looking at flowers. Anyway, I don't even know why I said that. I guess I just kind of wanted him to know that I was there for a reason that wasn't, you know, dangerous to the people of the kibbutz. Anyway, I just said that to make them feel better about me running around in a time when rockets had been falling. And they said, go to the left. But I didn't get back in Barrie. I did get in Raim. And when when I went the first time, you know this, I said so in the video, I was not looking for anything out of the head. I was not. I was looking for barley grass. I was looking to see how many leaves were up out of that barley grass, how tall it was. I was shocked when I saw stuff out of the head. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is I was still learning how to use the camera that I have to do the moon with. And there was a glitch. It was turning itself on to try to connect with my phone. And that day it had been doing that in the nighttime and I didn't know, so the battery was dead. I couldn't take good photos. All I had was my phone. So, and plus I had Beulah. I mean, I really wasn't, that little pup, I really wasn't expecting to have to do any serious work. So when it started raining, I had all these obstacles. I said, okay, that's enough. I'll do what I can do. I've done what I can do. I'm going to go home. And I kept an eye on it. I wish that things had been differently, but that's the way that things actually were. So today I was able to get back into Raim, and I'm going to try to get you a photo up here. Let me see if I can get it real quick. I want to show you something. When I got up, the entrance is kind of, you know, you kind of go down. It's like kind of a little valley there. And it's kind of hilly, really hilly in that area. And so today it wasn't raining. I went up on the area there above, well, actually where the sheep were. Okay. Almost there. And I found this patch right here. This patch of barley goes all the way around like this. And you can see that this is a huge area. It's much more than a fourth or a third of an acre. Okay, you can see right here the condition of the barley. Look at this. Look at this barley. Look how big it is. It's a big wide area. I took some samples from right out here in the middle of this barley, in the center, randomly. I pulled this barley right here. Okay, you can see how these stalks, some of them are already turning brown. Look at that. This is that same patch. And we got these goats here. And I think I took a video. Let me look here and see. Maybe I did not. By the way, all of this here, this is not barley. This is another kind of grass. This right here, this is arugula or rocket, depending on where you're from. This is already dead. It's already made its seed and is dead. It's a dead plant. These little these little things right here, that is holding the seed of the barley. Remember, we're saying we need bitter herbs, okay? This right here, this is plantain, okay? This has already bloomed, and that's the seed head. Look at within that barley, look at the condition of the oats. Do you see how yellow they are and how they're, let me see if I can pull, okay. You see this black right here? You see that fuzzy? Okay, a lot of those are like that in this batch of barley right here. Hang on. These early right here, these red barleys right here, see this white oats? These were all ready to be harvested. Okay, so hang on, let me look at some more here and see what else I can show you. You see how this is very, very level and how sick this is, and see how this is healthy right here? Do you see how even the barley in this level area, see how it's already dropping its grains? Do you see that? Do you see, the sheep are still back there. Do you see? Okay, and let's get in over here. Okay, do you see all of this? All of these oats, they're all real ready to drop their seeds. Looked at that one. I really thought I had a video of this. Apparently I do not. And I apologize. I really thought I made a video of that. Okay, so I'm going to tilt this down. Right here is the barley from that area that I brought home. I'm going to pick one randomly. There's a top one right there. Hope you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. Did you see that one, how easy that fell out? Did you see how easy that fell out? Okay, take that one. Now, this is cherry picking the field, but not cherry picking a head of grains. Okay, I can't smash that. I can't, can you see? Sorry, I can't smash it open. Oh, I finally just, did I? Yeah, I just finally a little bit. Now, when I give it a cut, we're in about a medium dough stage. When I give it a cut, I can squish a little bit of the dough out of it. I gotta really try. That's the dough right there on that thumbnail. I would call this a medium dough, okay? And I'm not cherry picking out of that group. You saw me just take one and do this. This batch of barley is going to lay in my house for 3 days, and we're going to check it again. But I want to show you that a lot of them are already dropping. I want to show you some pictures here of what I did with the barley when I got it back to the hotel. Okay, actually it was a little apartment I stayed in. I stayed on a kibbutz. Okay, first of all, let's go back to that area. Hang on, let me move this out of the way. Okay, this, by the way, is berry. I could not get into berry, but at the entrance, I want you to take a look at the condition of the barley. Okay, it has recovered. It's not yellow at the base, but the heads of the oats, I'm sorry, I'm saying barley. The head of the oats are yellow. It's not yellow at the base. So let me see if I can get, okay, there you go. See, pull it back out. That's recovering. That's not yellow like it was, but the heads are turning. And again, you see these little areas where the barley's been able to survive because it had drainage. It had little places of drainage. Okay, let's go. I was going to see if I had that one photo. The area where I had been when I was begging God for a bigger wave sheaf, a better place to gather a wave sheaf, basically. And that's Raim. Okay. This is that area now. Let's see if I can get Facebook up. Hang on. Let me squish this down. Well, stop sharing. Let me pause this a second. Okay, I'm going to do a screen share. On the right-hand side will be the field 3 weeks ago when I was in it. On the left-hand side is a video of the same field on the other end, but the same condition and what it looks like now. So the old pictures on the right, the new pictures on the left. One's a video. Probably get this up and get this over there. Okay. Try to shrink this a little bit. Okay, let's play this. You see we've got more oats up, but the rain damaged everything. These are barley. Here's barley. Here's a raised area with barley. A swath of barley here. And this is the day the rockets were going off overhead, by the way. Barley, this is all real tall. This is not ready yet. Okay, all of that big old huge field. This was where I was standing and saying, Father, the field's big enough. But I feel bad saying we should harvest the tufts of barley to make the omer up. Though I know what the land is telling me. I know the land is telling me that we should have a first fruits because of the oats. So that was my prayer, that I would find something that was acceptable in a large enough quantity. And that quantity in Raim is easily 3 armfuls of cut stalks of barley. Let me look again here and see what else I want to tell you. The herd, I should say. Okay. We can see barley in here. None of this is ready. None of this is ready. But what I want you to notice is these wispy things like this here. There is so much more oats. This all is oats. This all is oats. There's some barley strewn through here. Okay. This is barley. This is barley. Okay. This is all oats. A little barley right here. This is all oats, and look at the condition of it. Okay. These guys have really affected this field as far as what's going to be available. Did I screen share that? I hope I did. Let me just run through it again. Hang on. Ugh. Hang on. Try it again. Here we go. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Sorry guys, I'm a little scattered right now. Okay, all right, let's do this. Try it again. I want to make sure I show you what I thought I was showing you. Okay, now I know you're seeing it. Okay, you see how many oats there are in here. See these oats. There's just a little barley. The barley has not survived well this year. This is predominantly oats back here, the little fuzzy looking stuff. The more defined stuff is barley. Okay, same thing here. We're so full of oats and there's just a little barley. Go this way. All of this in front of the sheep is oats. Most of this back here is oats. There's one little barley stalk here, maybe a few over here. Look at all of the oats. Here's some barley. You can see they're the ones that'll have look like sticks more, and all the fuzzy light stuff, all that's oats. Barley in the front, lots of oats in the back. Lots of oats here. These are little barley pieces here. All this is oats. So my determination is because I could harvest 3 armfuls easily here, 3 armfuls, maybe more, of acceptable barley. That sample I pulled that I'm going to hold for 3 days, and I'll come back in 3 days and show you again, of acceptable barley, all in a variation of dough. Most of it, you had to divide it to get the dough out of it. You couldn't just flatten the kernel at that point and make it, for lack of a better analogy, pop like a pimple. Because I've got all this here I could harvest, and because I know the sheep have just decimated this area, I know the rain has just decimated this area, I've got, if this was my field, and I'm looking for a first fruit harvest from a field, I'm very content with what I found. Now, if you are of the belief that Greater Israel has to have barley, then you don't want to listen to what I say. I'm not looking for Greater Israel. I am looking at a field as if it's my own, and I'm looking for a first fruits offering. This field, if it were my own, would have plenty for a first fruits offering. And because of what the barley has been telling me here, because of what the oats have been telling me, because I've got to have, it's commanded that we have tender greens. And in 1 month, I don't think we're going to have them. I think we're going to have woody sticks and a few tough leaves left. And we've had sheep on the ground, goats on the ground. They were born a month and a half ago. The last thing I want to say about the field idea is that we have heard the term Leviticus 2:14 barley, which was traditionally in the King James was like green ears to full ears, right? The squishy, like we just looked at, to hard ears. I want to show you something. I don't agree with that. So let me go pause. Hang on. Okay, so it was 1 verse down. It was according to the division of the Torah and not the King James. Let's go here. All right here. This verse. Send me now, therefore, a man cunning to work in gold and in silver and in brass and in iron and in purple and in crimson. Okay, caramel in Leviticus 2:14 is the exact same spelling except for this yud right here. I have labored over this for quite some time in wrestling to understand how can we take a word that's based on understanding a grape and a grapevine and the color crimson to describe a hard grain of barley or wheat, because it's just a hard, it's just a grain it's talking about. And I don't think we can. I think what the author was saying in Leviticus 2:14 is that the ears could be green, or, hang on 1 second. Let me go right here. Stop sharing. Go right here. Quickly, still looking for my photo. Well, this take more time than I thought. I apologize. Gotta almost be there by now. I don't realize I take so much pictures, but I guess I do. Gonna pause ya. Okay, I found my picture. So the difference between the spelling of the caramel barley and the crimson word is only the yud. And it doesn't make sense that we're using something that comes from the root word that means everything grape, which is juicy, even if it's a raisin, to make something hard and crunchy. I think what they're talking about with caramel, you ready, is the caramel color of some of the red barley. Now let me show you something else. Share new. Remember that picture of what color that is? That's a crimson grape. That's a crimson grape. Well, let me see if I can get them both up there together. Don't know if I can. Stop sharing and try again. All right, let me see if I can get back over here. Well, poof. Share. I can't share them both at the same time. So we'll flip back and forth. That's the crimson grape. Stop sharing. Share again. That's the barley. And if you're noticing, it's a very, very similar color. I saw some of the reddest barley this year I'd ever seen. I'm going to show you the picture. But if you'll look, this barley that is ready early is that crimson color. Now let me show you what I found this year. I have never, ever. I thought last year was a landmark year because we just really had some beautiful barley last year that was very, very red. But what I found this year was so crimson that it was shocking. It looked almost chocolate, and it was still standing in the field. And I showed someone the picture, and they said, "Boy, that sure stands out." And I said, "Yeah, it does." And I just imagine that what they were saying is the barley could be green, or the barley could be this shocking crimson color. Okay, so here it is from the beginning of the year. These were the crimson color from the beginning of the year. Okay, see that? Now look how they have become now. Hang on. I gotta get my pictures back up. I'm gonna move a lot of these off the computer because this is just ridiculous by now. So I can manipulate pictures more quickly. Hang with me. Almost there. Took a lot of pictures while I was gone, I tell you. Well, don't you know you can't find it when you need it? Well, I'll post that up with a verse in the group so you can see how crimson the pictures actually can be. It's really profound. They just really almost look chocolate. And I apologize that I am not finding what I need. Give me one more second. Let me look one more place. Just let me look one more place. I think I may know where I can pull it up real quick. Okay, let me shut this. Let me go here. Let me go here. Here it is. Got it, got it, got it, got it. This is that same barley now that is absolutely a bead in the area where I was telling the father, I feel bad to say that I'm going to start the year with what I have. It's because it's too scattered out to go around cutting it and collecting it. This is that same crimson barley now this year. It was just almost chocolate. It was so dark. So approaching things with the land under my feet. For me, crimson or caramel would be the color of this barley. That's the similarity, literally, the similarity of the grapes. It's the similar color. So yeah, I wanted to say that because waiting till the grains are so hard to harvest them is a ridiculous thing to think about. Or harvesting, I'm sorry, not the grains, or harvesting the grains when they're past the dough stage, you lose too many. My goodness, look what I harvested today. Look at, okay, I just picked that up. They're already falling apart. When are you going to harvest? When am I going to harvest? I'm going to tell you when I'm going to harvest, when this doesn't happen, because I need it for the year, for the entire year. And I'm going to harvest it. I'm going to harvest that first fruit from my field as soon as I can get a viable omer to present in the temple for the first fruits of my field. You got to do it that way. You got to think. I do. I can't get past this sanitary thinking that the whole nation or the whole area and how it looks. I can't, because this is feeding families and this is the first fruits from my field, and we're not to delay the first fruits. Okay, yes, there was one first fruit in all of Israel, absolutely. But when I'm doing a search for my calendar, I'm looking at that field and saying, will it yield me a first fruit? And the area I found yielded me a first fruit. I'm going to continue to dry this. Caramel to me is the red barley. It's not the hard barley. It's the color of the grain. It's caramel. It's just like the crimson color of the grapes. And I'll try to put a little ditty up about that in the group so you can see it all side by side. Maybe it'll make some more sense. It may make sense now. And I'm rambling. I'm tired. I'm home. I'm going to quit. I'm going to try to rest before the new moon. We will start the month 1, day 1 count tonight. The moon was not seen last night, as best as I know. In conclusion, one more thing. Please don't send me other people's reports. I'm not a snob. I'm human. It takes my eyes off my work. It makes me worry, makes me second guess what I hear God telling me. Sometimes it makes me feel bad because I hear things that have been directed by somebody to the other person. I don't want to be part of that mess. Respectfully, I live here. I see things from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So I see things differently. I want things to fit together. I want the whole picture. We got the whole picture. We got the things that most people expect to see. We got it very early, before the whole nation of Israel was aware of it. And one of the things I looked at this year is regional, rather than just saying, yeah, Israel is a small country. We're smaller than New Jersey, but we also have 7 growing zones. So I determined this year I would look at regional things. And that's why I started reporting on the anemones down here in Rayim, where we have this wave sheet from, February 2nd. That's why and then when I started questioning the fields and how that some believe that there are a very limited number of fields that are acceptable. I live here, I don't agree with that. You can go right up the road here and they're tearing up one of the wheat fields to put in apartments. It's full of rocks underneath there. I mean, it's like you can see it driving on the road. The field is full of rocks. We're a rocky country. And even if you don't see them on the surface, they're just below the surface, but it doesn't mean that there's not depth of soil. So I want out of that fracas. I'm doing this literally for me. I left all the groups that talk about barley, not because I'm a snob, not because of any of that, but because I don't fit. No, I don't want to say that. Because I have different eyes and I have a different perspective. And the perspectives that existed don't line up with my perspective. And it's just that simple. Next year, I'll go earlier to the south. I want to get down there before the goats are on the ground, and the lambs. When I spoke to the lady at Zella, she said that the goats and the lambs are always born when there's lots of grass. So if I go when the goats and the lambs are born, I'll get to see what the land looks like before it's destroyed by the grazing. Currently in these national parks, these areas where the anemones grow, they don't like the anemones or they're poison or that they don't eat them, but they do eat the grass, all of the seed-bearing grass, the oats, the barley. And I want to get in there and I want to see what it looks like a little before the babies are on the ground. And I want to get down there and I want to know what timing the babies are on the ground. And I've made a connection with this lady. We're going to stay in contact. The lady that I stayed with on the kibbutz, we're going to stay in contact. I invited her to come stay here at my apartment. You know, this is just grassroots and networking to understand, the place that I live, so that we have a better picture of the scriptures. That's what I want. I want a picture from the scriptures. And so this year I'm going to start the calendar tonight. And if you have any specific questions about what I've explained, I'll be happy to clarify it. You are welcome not to follow me. You are welcome to leave the group. You're welcome to keep the calendar. I'm keeping it according to my best ability and according to obedience of doing the work and faith that I have heard from my God. And so, yeah, that's what I have determined by my wonderful 3 days there. And the fact for me that I stood there with that dark red barley that was ready in those little patches. And I said, Father, I need more than this. I need an armful of barley. The next morning I got up, the roads were opened. They were no longer closed by the military. I got into Rayim Park. I got up on that ridge and there were 3 armloads of barley, 3 armloads of barley ready and waiting. I don't need more than that. I don't need more than that. So anyway, thanks for watching.